I'm Abena, I'm 33, and today I will share with you my story. I grew up in Ghana, so I was born and raised in Ghana. Grew up in a fairly happy home. Ghana was great, so many wonderful memories that I made growing up. However, that was slowly taken away as I was growing up. So the first thing that happened that began to store my innocence away as a child was me being exposed to pornography. So it was, I was very young. All of this happened before I was 12. Yeah, from then on, there was a young man in our neighborhood who basically took advantage of me when I was growing up as well. I believe at the time I was 8 years old. I believe at the time that he was probably about 18 or 19. And then when I came to this country, I think it was about two years after, I would say, or 3 years after even, when I was 15, I met this guy and was actually randomly meeting him by the roadside. And we started talking, and he became somebody that I was in a relationship with. And he was about 19 years old as well, or maybe 20. And at this point, I was 15. And I remember I was an air cadet, and I didn't go to air cadets that night that I basically fell pregnant, and I went to his house. And he also took advantage of me. But soon after, I met somebody else who was more a similar age to me, and he became my boyfriend. And while I was in that relationship, that was when I found out that I was actually pregnant with, the previous person. I came to the belief that my son was not going to be accepted. Essentially there was nothing for me to hold on to. There was no support that I was going to be able to keep him. I believed that lie, that I would not be able to keep him. And I also believed the lie that if I did keep him, that I wouldn't have a future. And I believed that I had to make a choice between him and the people that I had known all my life and loved, which all three things were all lies. I remember walking in there, and a sonographer, I don't know if she was a sonographer or a doctor or something, and she did a scan. And that was when I found out that I was 16 weeks pregnant, that my baby was a boy. Saw him on the screen. So the day of the abortion came, it was in the hospital. And I just remember it was nighttime. I was given the abortion pills. And as far as I can remember, there were 3 pills. I took one orally and inserted one. And from what I can remember, I think the nurse came in and just said, do you feel anything? I was just like, no, doesn't seem to be anything happening. And I think she gave me another pill, and I inserted that pill as well. And that's when I started to feel pain in my abdomen. And I then knew that something was happening. Then the urge to go to the toilet, but there was a pan by my bedside, and sat on there, and something came out of me, and I turned and I looked, and that was just this tiny baby. Yeah, and I remember leaving the hospital, and it didn't quite dawn on me until I got home that I realized that it was actually my birthday. It was my 16th birthday. I went to visit my then boyfriend, and that's when everything dawned on me. And I remember crying out to him, saying to him, I want my son back. I just remember crying out to him, saying, I want my baby back. Nothing that anyone could do at that point. Nothing. There's no way I was going to get him back. I didn't realize the connections with my story until I started to seek therapy, and decided that I was gonna go to Rachel's Vineyard and see what that's about. It was at Rachel's Vineyard that I got the chance to mourn my son properly and honor him. It was there that he was no longer a secret, or just this thing that I just got rid of. He was my son. He was not a rapist's child, like a lot of women now are led to believe. He was innocent. Recognizing that he was a person, he existed, that God had the purpose for him. I named my son David. Honoring David, I realized that I can't keep silent. I've realized that there is a lot of silence surrounding my life, leading to his death. And I remember, especially in the moment where it mattered most, where he could have been saved, there was so much silence. There was an overwhelming silence. I think part of my inspiration has come from just the moment we're in right now. People speaking up for truth and being persecuted for it. And I think my greatest inspiration has come from God, but also from somebody who spoke with great boldness and did not relent, and that's Charlie Kirk.